We're at the Seattle Kraken Community Iceplex in Northgate, where today the mayor of Seattle is going to declare it Seattle Kraken Day. The reason it's today is because it's 3/2, March 2nd, and it's because of the number 32 and the significance it's built for the Seattle Kraken, of course the 32nd NHL franchise, but also because of the 32,000 season ticket holders that signed up as soon as they had the opportunity. We also expect to hear from the team's CEO, Todd Leiweke, and we're certain he'll have some things to say because he has some special plans for the game as well.
Part of our CEO, Todd Leiweke.
Well, good morning, and especially to our special guests here. We're so happy to have you here. Are you happy to be here? I'm going to tell a little bit of a personal story. 4 years ago, I was working at the National Football League, and I was in my boss's office, a man named Roger Goodell. And my brother texted me, and he said, call me. And I didn't call him. And he texted me again. And he texted me again. And when I did call him, he told me we've had a miracle happen here in Seattle. 32,000 depositors placed deposits on a team without a name, without yet an arena. And it was the fans who spoke 4 years ago today that gave life to so many dreams. Those fans gave life to not just the Seattle Kraken, but they truly gave life to the arena. And now, because that arena's here, we had an incredible concert last night, Bad Bunny, and other wonderful things have happened, like the development of this brilliant facility. At the end of the first year of this facility being open, we'll have 1 million people come through the doors. And they will come and have amazing experiences like I did when I was a kid. Because those fans stepped up, we've been able to give to the community and make a difference. And it's really why I came back to Seattle. I had been with the Seahawks for a number of years, and that call from my brother that day told me that something brilliant was about to happen in Seattle. And for the last 4 years, we've worked at it. And it's big things like the arena and this facility, but it's other smaller things which we're so proud of. The ability day in and day out to give to community. Tonight, we play the Nashville Predators. And before the game, we will have a member of the Ukrainian community sing the Ukrainian National Anthem. I feel emotion just as I say that, because we will tell the community here and maybe around the world that we believe. And those are the moments and those are the opportunities and the privileges that we get because the fans 4 years ago stood up. But it took courage and it took leadership. And people have asked me, how was it working with the city of Seattle? We did something brilliant. We did something that should have been done a long time ago. And had it been done a long time ago, we not only would have had an NHL team, we might not have lost the NBA team. But it took courage. And the next two speakers are the body of courage. Deborah Juarez and our mayor chaired the committee to build the arena. It's the first arena built, first sports facility built in our community with zero tax-based dollars. We saved a historic landmark, what was then the Seattle Coliseum. We built the first zero-carbon arena in the world, and so much credit goes to you two, and we are forever grateful. So on this day, where we're so proud of what's happened, I hope, President and Mr. Mayor, that you're equally as proud as we are. Because what you did was courageous, and look what's happened. So Deborah, come on up here. The President of our City Council, Deborah Juarez.
I will be brief because I got Mayor Harrell here in the wings, and so I know he likes to talk a lot. So before I begin, though, I want to recognize Councilmember Morales. Where are you? Councilmember Morales is here, representing the mighty District 2. And where is Susan Lee from REWA? There she is, Susan Lee, everybody. Refugee Women's Alliance, who's responsible for 3 schools, Lake City, let me get this right, Beacon Hill, Rainier Valley, and MLK.
With a forthcoming 2023.
Yes, 4 schools. These are all the kids you see here. And they're here with their parents. And I want to thank Todd and Tim Lewicki, OVG, and NHL. They provide the buses. They pick them up. They bring them here. We've been here on Wednesdays for the Lake City kids, sitting over here, lacing them up. Yours truly has went on the ice and got knocked down by one of them. I won't point out who. But it's been amazing. And I have a few words that I want to share, a few prepared words, and then I'm just going to hand it over to our new mayor and my friend. You heard what Todd said about what we started 4 years ago. And, you know, it was actually more than 4 years ago, and someday when I write the book about it, it's going to be pretty amazing when we talk about how we got here. We could not have gotten here with the leadership of our now Mayor Harrell. We co-chaired that committee to make sure that we brought an NHL franchise to this city. But the Climate Pledge Arena and this beautiful place, the Kraken Community Iceplex, is more than just brick and mortar. It is jobs, it's opportunity, it's access, it's bringing all these young children here to learn about a sport and be involved. And more importantly, and I'm going to quote what our mayor says now, it's about being one Seattle. It's about, for once, all of us wearing the same jersey, being on the same team for our beloved city. And I think that's what we need. The other thing that makes me so proud is, and I was hoping Elizabeth Dahl from Aurora Commons was here today. I said this yesterday during our council meeting. And we don't get these calls very often. Elizabeth Dahl is the CEO for Aurora Commons that provides phenomenal services for women on Aurora. And they are part of the nonprofit family that the Lewickis and OVG and NHL give to. And they got a call last week, and then they called me saying, we just got this call from the Kraken saying, where do we wire this money to you? And that never happens. Usually nonprofits that are providing services for our most vulnerable populations, our young populations, people who are struggling, people who need things, housing, education, mental health, healthcare, have to go through the federal process, the city process, the state process of a grant, a budget. They have to fill out paperwork. But to get a phone call from a for-profit organization that says, I believe in you, where do I wire the money? Because I know you're doing good stuff. And that's what we want for this Seattle. This is what we want for every community in this city, is we want the good stuff. We want libraries, community centers, light rail. We want jobs, not slogans. We want jobs. We want family wage jobs. We want priority hire. We want women, minority, and business owners to have an opportunity. And this organization is doing that. And, you know, I did not believe that 5 years ago, that I would be here today with my Kraken jersey, which says JD5, that this would be happening. But this is what happens when you play the long game and you invest and you have relationships and you have trust. This is what good government should look like. And so before I end, I want to say on a personal note, Mayor Harrell has been nothing but a friend, a coworker, a colleague, but also he helped bring this team here. He helped build the Climate Pledge Arena. He helped build the Kraken Community Iceplex. I know I kind of take up more space than he does because it's DJD5. But with that, I will introduce our mayor, Mayor Harrell.
Okay, I'm going to bend down a little bit, but I'm excited. I'm ready to go. First of all, did you guys see the elephant in the room? Yeah. You did? I did too. It was Council President Juarez's new tennis shoes. See, that's how you come. You come with those new tennis. Isn't it fun, kids, having new tennis shoes once in a while? And before we start, one game, as Simon says, one game. If you are young, raise your hand. Simon says raise your hand. Eric Pettigrew, put your hand down right now. I knew you were going to raise your hand. Thank you. So I'm excited. When we look at what this organization, the Kraken organization, has done, we've made history. And it's very important that you young folks learned a lesson. We all learned a lesson too. Sometimes it's not whether you win or lose in a game, it's what? It's how you played the game. and what we've learned in how we have played the game of life with the Kraken organization. Let's look at some numbers. First, it started with the vision. And then they knew our values, and our values are making sure everyone can succeed in a sick city. That's what, as mayor of Seattle, that's what One Seattle is about, making sure everyone can succeed. They spent nearly $200 million. $200 million were earned by women and minority-owned contractors. Let's applaud that right there. $200 million earned by women and minority contractors. Over $40 million in wages and benefits to workers of color, and over $30 million that went to workers in economically distressed communities. That's what equity is about. It's about making sure that everyone could rise in a boat when the water comes in. And the reason why we know these numbers, Councilmember Morales, is because we measure them, right? We measure equity. That's what Council President Juarez and Councilmember Morales and the City Council and the city does. We try to measure it because we can talk about it. They've been about it. So that's what's so exciting about this kind of activity. Now, if you've been to a game, the athletes are amazing. How quickly they could stop on a dime. How many of you could skate? Roller skate or ice skate? Okay, how many of you could go backwards? Because my hand, I can't go back. This is how I go when I go backwards. I'm just standing still. I can't get that momentum going backwards. But I can go forwards a little bit. These athletes could stop on a dime like that. And what this arena, what the practice facility and the arena here, the arena downtown represents, quite honestly, is hope. It gives us something to look forward to. As we deal with having to wear the mask, and you're so kind to wear these masks and you have your helmets, you understand safety, that when we look at what's happening in the city, we have some things to look forward to. Let me describe just a couple. I do not need my reading glasses, because we're all young. We don't need reading glasses, okay? This .08 font, Jamie Housen, could have been a little better, by the way, but we don't need reading glasses. When we're looking at our waterfront, we are improving our new Waterfront Downtown, and we're redesigning it. It's going to be a thing of beauty for all people to enjoy, where you will be able to actually touch the water. We're connecting our light rail system to the region, making sure we can get on that beautiful light rail system all around our region, not just within Seattle, but going south and going north, going east, and going west. What a beautiful light rail system we'll do to light up our region. The monorail, we'll be making investments in the monorail, and I hope many of you have been on the monorail. That was built when I was about your age, so it certainly needs some updates. And it's going to be an incredible feature in our city. And most importantly, looking at our needs of the city in terms of housing, and making sure people can live in the city, addressing our homelessness crisis, addressing people who just can't afford to live here, making sure we have housing supply and policies in place to make sure in One Seattle we can all live here. Not just people that make a lot of money, but people who are serving coffee, or teachers, or nurses, or janitors, or retired veterans, making sure we all can live in Seattle. All of these issues here we are working on, and the Kraken organization, thank you for your investment. Thank you for your values. So I'm going to close by reading a proclamation. I'm not going to read it all, but when we read this, see how cool it looks? See how cool that looks? So someday one of you might be able to read some of this too. Get good grades. Listen to your teachers. These were bad students out there. They didn't. We listen to our teachers. Raise your hand if you listen to your teachers. Yes. Put your hand down, Eric Pettigrew. So this goes into our history. Just so you know, this is part of our Seattle history right now. I'm going to read a few paragraphs. Whereas on March 1st, 2018, 32,000 fans in Seattle placed season ticket deposits in a single 24-hour period, putting the hockey world on notice, showing that Seattle is a hockey town, and giving life to the NHL's 32nd franchise. And whereas the people of Seattle made their voices heard when discussing the name for this NHL franchise, showing overwhelming support for the Kraken name and giving life to a legend with ties to Puget Sound and the spirit of this city. And whereas the Kraken has given over $2 million in charitable donations since its inception. That means they're giving back to our community, including COVID relief grants and proceeds from merchandise sold at can I have some glasses here? No. At brand launch to deeply root itself in the community. And whereas Kraken fans have turned Seattle into a hockey town with over 1 million people visiting the Kraken community Iceplex this past year, thousands of young skaters participating in learn to skate programs. I'll be joining that, by the way, so I can go backwards. I got to know how to go backwards. And over 120 amateur teams calling the Iceplex their home ice. And whereas on October 23rd, 2021, at the Kraken's first game at Climate's Pledge Arena, the number 32 was retired in honor of the fans whose unwavering passion for this team ran as deep as Puget Sound. And whereas Kraken fans have made Climate Pledge Arena one of the loudest arenas in the NHL, creating an electric atmosphere that inspires Kraken players to play with passion and determination. Now, therefore, the mayor and the full Seattle City Council honor the fans of Seattle's new NHL franchise, the Seattle Kraken, and proclaim Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022 to be Seattle Kraken Day. Let's go. And I close by saying, one Seattle, we are all coming together as one great city. We're going to make the city the greatest in this country. We're going to do that together, and it starts with you people who play Simon Says with me. Thank you, and I turn it over to Todd Lewicki once more to close us out.
Do you think we can teach the mayor to skate backwards? Yeah. All right. We're going to start when we're done. Mayor, if you got some time, we got a special instructor.
I don't have time today.
I'm going to come up. Victor DeBonis. Victor is the man who runs this place day in and day out. Deborah, please come up. We have a gift. Gratitude without the expression of gratitude is no gratitude at all. We are so grateful for the role that you played, Mr. Mayor. The president of our city council, they gave life to this dream. The fans, pioneers like you two, we're so grateful. So we want to give you not only a cool jersey, but a jersey signed by every team member.
And it fits within the ethics rules for accepting gifts, by the way.
Thank you for coming.
Wow. Elaborate a little bit more on the National Anthem thing. When did you guys decide to do something, and who did you find to sing it?
Well, every game we have an opportunity to support community. And we always think about what our fans would want. And I think tonight they'd want more than the U.S. National Anthem. So we went to the Ukrainian community here, and we said we'd like you to come. We'd like you to sing the Ukrainian anthem before we play the U.S. anthem. So it's just going to be another great moment in this journey. A great moment in telling people we're listening by listening to their anthem.
And talk about today, and it's kind of on that level,
Sure.
about the community, about how you guys are.
Well, I certainly, wish we had won more games up to this point, but that's not really how I judge this journey. It's been an amazing journey. 4 years ago, the fans spoke, and they spoke the truth that this was a hockey-ready community. It's been an incredible journey. With their support, we finished our deal with the city. We began construction on what I think is the most beautiful arena in the land, the first zero-carbon arena in the world. We've launched this team. We've had amazing concerts in the building. Bad Bunny, who's playing stadiums, came and played in our building last night, and on and on. Paul McCartney coming back to play 2 shows. And a lot of that really came from the fans who stepped up and said, we're going to make this happen. And from that, all these things happen. Not just the arena, not just the team, not just this beautiful training center, but the privilege of every day giving back to the community. And that's really why I came back home.
During yesterday's council meeting, you talked about using the draft to build the team, and you just acknowledged it's been a tough season. I'm curious how things are going down in Palm Desert and your plans for building a farm system and using that.
Well, we haven't won as many games as we'd like, but fact is we're kind of on our plan, which was to draft a core group, to build this team through the draft. And if you go look at the draft picks made last summer, fabulous. Early results, just incredibly exciting. And we'll see some of those faces in our camp next year. We're going to get another low draft pick this year, but I'd say a huge development for us is the American Hockey League team, the Coachella Valley Firebirds playing in a brand new arena right in the heart of the Coachella Valley. Just Alaska Airlines, 17 flights a day to and from Seattle, so there's this amazing connection. But we have an opportunity to build out the premier American Hockey League team, and that's all a part of the strategy of building out a long-term competitive championship team here. I've done it before. We're doing it again. Hang in there with us.
So, and I want to back you up to the Russia-Ukraine situation for a minute. Kraken doesn't have any Russian players, does it?
We don't, but this league has players from all over. I was talking to a player on our team who's from Sweden yesterday, and his heart is broken. He was thinking about his family, and even in Sweden, the duress that people are feeling. To acknowledge that is our opportunity. And, community comes in big ways like this, but it also comes in daily, day in and out gestures, and tonight will be a powerful moment. I woke up today, and it was the first thought I had, was that there's going to be a beautiful moment before our game, and I will admit it, tough hockey guy, I will have tears in my eyes.
Now, businesses in our state have been asked to back off if they're doing business with any Russian companies. I'm guessing OVG and the Kraken don't have to worry about that.
No, and OVG made a powerful statement of discontinuing, and what's happened is a global tragedy. But something will come out of this. There will be positives emerge, and you're seeing it. You're seeing the world galvanizing in a way that maybe it wasn't going to happen. Adversity can create, opportunity, and I guess that's the thing perhaps we can hope from all of this. But tonight we'll unite our 17,000 fans with the Ukrainian community, and it's going to be a powerful moment.
So the one other thing I wanted to ask you about, and then I'll let these fellas get back to it. There's a lot of kids here, and that's something we haven't really talked about yet, but this facility is really playing a part in the community and building a love for the ice and for hockey here, isn't it?
It is, and it's more than just hockey. It's skating, it's figure skating, and it's even curling. But more than that, I was that disadvantaged kid many years ago that skated on the ice, and it kind of changed my life, and we think that happens here every single day. There are men's leagues and there are beer leagues, but there's every day a kid coming and having a unique experience, and that's how we chartered this place, with scholarships, with equipment grants, and other things. We'll have 1 million people come through the doors of this facility in our first year of operation. We couldn't be more proud.
Your arena's pretty well booked. Are you open to Sonics anytime soon?
Well, the arena's going to have an incredible year. We're seeing artists going back out. Hang on 1 second, all right? Somebody's playing the guitar. The arenas, we're proud of the bookings, and certainly the cloud of COVID seems to be lifting. And with it, we anticipate a record booking year. More shows will come to the arena, more shows will come to Seattle than any time in its history in this coming year. But we have other dreams, and certainly we're paying close attention to the NBA, but in the near term, we get to see the Storm launch in our building. And this building is going to change their fortunes forever and impact the WNBA's fortunes as well, I believe.
Have there been any actual discussions with the NBA? Because, there's rumors floating around about more expansion.
Yeah, I pay attention to those rumors. We'll never get in front of the commissioner. The best thing we can do is what we've already done, is build a world-class arena and put out the biggest welcome mat we can. When they're ready, we're here and we're ready to go.
Back to on the ice real quick. Kind of the halfway point of the season. What do you do at this point as CEO to kind of look towards the second half and build into next year?
Listen, I sure wish we'd won more games to this point, but my view has always been about the long haul. Fact is, we kept dollars to be players in this year's free agency. We will retain the players that we want. We will be players in free agency. We're going to have another terrific draft. And before you know it, folks are going to look up and they're going to see a team that was homegrown, home-built, and built for the long haul. And there's really no shortcuts. We wanted to be competitive this year, but far and away our goal was to build a long-term winner that once we got in the playoffs became that sustained team. I've been doing this a long time, and that path is a pretty clear and straight and direct path, and it's important we don't divert from that. I'm so proud of that first draft class, and when you look at those 3 picks, Matty Beniers, Riker Evans, Ryan Winterton, just look at their stats. You're going to see that we also put together a great scouting staff, and their work is already proven. So we're excited about the future, and I hope we win tonight, but I got my eye on the long term.
Real quick on that, what was it like to see some of those players in the Olympics perform?
Yeah, it was great to see. It was great to see some of our players. Matty Beniers, I thought, was the best player on the ice. And we'll see when he comes and pulls the jersey on. We're pulling for him because Michigan's in their conference championship here, and so our thoughts supported with Matty. But I think soon you'll see him someday wearing a Kraken jersey.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks so much.